Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome, 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 welcome. We got visitors. Now we had visitors. Good to have all of you in the ring tonight. Wherever you're joining us from, good to have you all live and direct and in living color. Shondell and John and Marilyn and I see Donald is here too. Folks, good to have you here. We've had the US Secretary of State, your old boy with us. Marco Rubio, Marco Rubio, better known as, my Lord, what a day it was. I know we love stagecraft, just like the other person, but we love you all more, and we're happy that all of you are here with us. Good to have had the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, with us today, traveled on to Suriname. And like the best part happened when he was in Suriname. Folks, how are you all doing? How are things at your end? Joylyn, Andy, Godfrey, Lester, Carlos, John, all 1,100 of you on with us this evening. Zoan and McGarrell, Seville, Sheena, Hazel. How are you all? Don Walcott. Yep. So the U.S. Secretary of State was here, but Jagdeo was an after Mohamed. I'm frightening him. I'm frightening him. Good to have all of you here. Malik Patsal. You get one eye in Rubio, one eye or two eye. And Nasruddin Mohamed and what's happening there, folks, in that camp, our eyes are on you. You are concerned. Good to have you folks here. What's happening with the coalition's agreement? Cummingsburg 2.0. Hope it don't go the way of Argyle, I hope it doesn't go the way of Argyle. How you know what's taking so long? What's taking up all this time? I get a little nervous now. And you know what's the bad thing is? I don't know if it's a good nervousness or it's a bad nervousness. Now I get a little nervous now. Come on. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Good to have you folks on the live tonight. Each and every one of you. Good to have you on the live tonight. You see the people, the PPP and the supporters, they want to do all sorts of things. And then they're crying foul. Welcome in the ring, folks. They're crying foul. 'Tis the season. They tell you can see all kind of madness. All kind of craziness. 'Tis the season. What season do I refer? Just in case you're new to our program. This season. Right here. This is the season. We're getting into it, folks. We are getting into it. As I said, and things are getting wild. We love it. 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 A lot. A lot. A lot. A lot. We told y'all, this thing, listen, we don't want it this way. We don't want it like this. But it might end up, you all remember that boathouse brawl? I like action like that. I like action like, we don't want to go there. But the PPP got to be cognizant. I'm sure each of you would agree with me. Linda, Sandra, Glycis, Sheena, Deborah. As the big people say, as big people got to stick together. Don't cut when you can't fetch. Don't cut when you can't fetch. We saw with we own eye in Nero Jaffer Ali, that miscreant from under quarantine. Hit that gentleman. How are you going to invade somebody's space like that? How are you going to invade somebody? The police arrest her, yeah? Hickens, somebody tag Hickens. Has an arrest been made as yet for assault? Has that happened? Oh, they have to get, I see y'all say, they got to get the instructions. They got to get the instructions from Freedom House. That's why I smile. Today when Jagdeo say, oh, GRA is independent. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, aren't they? GRA is independent. We're not prosecuting anybody. Nonsense. And he never looked. But at the sea, he has no interest. But he's no, I'll give us a break. Y'all believe that is so? All of these state agencies and entities, they just function independently. Tell somebody else who don't know. We know. We know, good folks. We know. Believe you me, we know. A couple things. We know a couple things. You know. See, watching. He watching. You know, he watching. We get a lot to see. He got a lot to see. Now, I saw somebody with a video. I don't know who owned what car. Any given day you on the road in this country, 50 sirens can pass you, independent of each other, you know. You got to pull over. I pull over. You know. I like driving Miss Daisy. I pull over and let the little ones pass. Some black car, they said, was actually then, he got sirens on the car. Suddenly, he siren focused. I thought he says only doing policy issues. If you got a policy, people got a problem, let it go to the police. And the police take it from there. Suddenly he on sirens. Well, each child mother got siren. The children get siren. The nanny gets siren. You see, people don't have a problem applying the law. It's when the law applying to some. You remember when we read Animal Farm? Steinbeck, right? All created equal. But some in this country more equal than others. Right? And that's when Marco Rubio come and he knocked glass to them. But when he went Suriname, Marco talked the real truth. Marco talked the real truth. So there Jagdeo was today in the corner shop show. He's called a press conference. But the whole country know it's a corner shop show. He talking about sirens. His hands he throwing, you know. His hands he throwing. What you gotta throw hands for? Come to the things frontally. But we know they don't like that in frontal. Share backdoor business. Share backdoor business. Come to the thing frontally. Come to it frontally. I don't think that they should really repudiate and so. They have time with that. They're confused. They're frightened. And they're scared. It's confusion powder. We saw yesterday what transpired. I think it's number 43. Number 43. People better take caution, you know. Confusion. And we want the same gusto. You talk about the opposition. You talk about, as we did Mohamed and T. Mohamed. Must have the gusto to condemn wrong when you see it. Have the gusto to do that.
Yes. Where you guys in picture?
Don't get stupid! Don't start it!
Hey folks, how do you just decide you're going to slap somebody? Like how? On what planet? You just decide in your own deliberate judgment, miscreant in the Rajaf rally, you're going to just go and knock somebody. Right? Jagdeo says because of the opposition. Jagdeo justified Indira Jafrali's conduct. He said it's because of the That's what he said. It's the last government. He said a lot of Y'all don't believe that? The man says a lot of pent up 5 years now. 5 years now. With all the cash grants and all the sugar estates open back, everything working as normal. Or as normal could be. Wait until we get to Rubio. As normal could be. And still people hold on to some allegation. holding on. He says, at no fault. People are tense. Folks, oh, you all making the vice president. Vanessa, Wendy, Rena, Diane, we all making the vice president. I try to understand it. You know, try to make him a study if there's a method to the madness. Or it's just madness. He says opposition. Folks share the damn life. Karen and Sandra Glyces, Sheena, smash that emoji button as well. I see Joylyn on the live too. Michaela, good to have you. Altia, Amita, Joret, good to have you. Donna, Joylyn, good to have all of you folks on the live. He said it's them boys. Believe it or not, he says the former government. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. He said, that's not for violence, but I know behind the scenes, thump them good, top them up. One businessman said, yeah, a little top up.
They're duping people. They're duping people. And then they take down their numbers and call them and say, will you support us politically? So people, a lot of people are offered help to go to these meetings. Those girls knew they never had a job there. And people, now we condemn violence in all of its form. Political violence or any form of violence. Domestic violence whatsoever. There should be no violence in the way we conduct our business. People can free to talk whatever they want. They're free to protest, but there must be no violence. But let me tell you, when you go to the sugar belt, where people saw their children practically starving, they don't know what APNU did.
It's our fault. It's our fault. Indira don't have a job and she's angry. It's our fault, you see. It's Granger fault, the Harmon. Right? And James, because James went over this side at that time. It's James' fault. She ain't got a job and she's angry. Y'all find this logic? Yeah. He will go to anything. He will divert to anything. Right. Royson said, tell that to Crummy Wing family. Yes. If people really hold, as the late great poet Martin Carson says, the history of our wounds, and you're just going to lash it out. You know? You can call it thug and racism and ethnic violence there and so on. But for Indira, no, it's the sugar. Or the absence thereof. It's too much sugar in Indira Jaff Rally blood. So she has, there's an accommodation to be made. Nobody else in this life here ain't got problems there, bro. Wenda, Yvette, Sharon. Nobody else ain't got problems. It's only sugar belt. This fella is not for real, you know. So, it's a denunciation of violence, but you see sleight of hand there. There's an accommodation for it. Right? You see the method? Or it's just madness. Some folks says both all too. This is what we have to deal with. He said, yes. We don't. But as you know, is the domestic violence part for me. That's the part again. Is the domestic violence part for me. Listen carefully to what he says.
They're duping people. They're duping people. And then they take down their numbers and call them and say, will you support us politically? So people, a lot of people are offered help to go to these meetings. Those girls knew they never had a job there. And people, now we condemn violence in all of its form. Political violence or any form of violence. Domestic violence whatsoever. There should be no violence in the way we conduct our business. People can free to talk whatever they want. They're free to protest, but there must be no violence. But let me tell you, when you go to the sugar belt, where people saw their children practically starving. They don't know what APNU did.
Yeah. Domestic violence. Should I read for you Varshni's statement? You remember Varshni? He said, we're not for domestic violence. We are not for that. Every kind of violence. When the fella from, is it Queens? The gun but the girl in Bath. I didn't hear him talk like that. We're not for violence. What the fella name? I know y'all sharp. From Queens, he the gun but the girl in Bath. Y'all remember? I can remember like elephant. Y'all remember that? He didn't come down like that. When Varshni went outside the gate, stand up, when she threw Adam and Eve's, he didn't talk like that then. You remember that? You remember Varshni had a long statement like a dissertation chronicling the history of her wounds? You remember that? We didn't hear, oh, we're not for. You see, Rohan Basantram know the whole thing top to bottom. O.C. Rogers, you remember O.C. the gun but the girl in the place in Bath? Yes, you O.C. We didn't hear him that. We think, oh, the quiet, and the shippy out. You see, that is why we don't have one Guyana, it's two. We don't have one, it's two Guyanas in this place. Claire Alexis, Charmley, Richmond. Folks, it's Claire's birthday. I hope I'm right. I think it's Claire's birthday. So you all wish Claire happy birthday for me. Please and thank you. Claire Alexis, Charmley, Richmond is on the live. And let me ring the bell one time for Claire. Please and thank you. Let me pull it up one time for Claire. Claire, please. I hope I get it wrong. Claire Alexis, Charmley, Richmond. You all wish Claire happy birthday. She's on the live tonight. So that's the fella. That's the chameleon we got to deal with. The bankers complaining again. Foreign currency shortage. All these billions of US dollars that oil bringing in. You know, we got a couple dollars here. Like I got currently 50 US and they're holding off and changing and balance up this thing. Businessmen have been complaining for the longest while. I think we could use the word perennially now. About the foreign currency. They're not getting foreign currency to buy. Right? He's all kind of mumbo jumbo. And then listen to how he sticks in. There was an injection today. We ain't got the problem. We ain't got the problem. But there was an injection just today in the foreign currency market. These are the things that ought to give their attention to. But you can't do that and watch man after dinner at the same time. You can't do that and watch a Robin dance at the same time. No. You can't do that and worry about Nigel and Exxon and all that at the same time. It just would happen like that. You can't do it like that. Foreign currency wars.
So this is, okay. I saw for the first time Kite Shore News. I normally don't respond to them, but they complain about foreign currency shortages by one businessman. And at the bottom they said, and the story was not bad, they said that we said we will inject resources as is needed. We study the market, we look at the balance in all the banks. We don't look at a mismatch. We only address mismatch between flow of currency and demand for currency. The timing, to smooth out timing of flows, we intervene. Like today, the central bank intervened and put 35 million US into the banking system. And as I said before, we have the capability of putting as much foreign currency into the banking system as is needed to smooth out or to meet legitimate demand, to smooth out the mismatch between flow or meet legitimate demand. We have the capability of doing so, but we will do so in a measured way, because we don't want to cause an appreciation of the currency too. If you put too much money in at once, you cause an appreciation of the currency, and that could ultimately lead to the Dutch disease. That is what is considered. It's bad for the agricultural sector, it's bad for manufacturing, too much appreciation of the currency.
It's one businessman, it's just one. It's just one. But we made an intervention. just today, it's just by coincidence, eh? But we made it in 35 million US dollars. Made an intervention today, folks. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Folks, the Canadians are with us. The Americans too. Please and thank you. The US Secretary of State visiting the Caribbean, visit Jamaica. He come down by we side, and then he went off to Suriname. He went off to Suriname. You know, I like when people, you come by people's house and so on, and you're politically correct. You are politically correct. You say all the nice things, but it's when you go home. It's when you leave. Yeah. And you and your friend walking down the road and say, you notice them whole things. You notice how the chair tear up. You notice how the glass the chip. How the plate had a crack. But when you're there, oh yes. Took and came. Took and came. When you're there. But when you leave. I'm happy the US Secretary of State visited. I'm not happy that Pat Salt was there. Fella got the everything. Right? But when you get a head as big as that, you can hit everything. You can't miss. Your head in everything. God damn it. Everything. Look. In the airplane, she mad. She want to twist with wrist and fight them. Everything. Everything. He can't miss a beat. Let's see puppet presidency we got happening here. We're not fool. We're not. Why wasn't Mark there? Mark is not the first vice president. Why isn't Mark there? Mark, why are you taking set up again? Mark Phillips. Why are you taking set up again, Mark? Huh? Robbers, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Huh? Why? It was tough for me. It was tough for me. My Lord, how we end up with these people? How we end up with 19 fraud charges? And you couldn't even go to Canada, and y'all want to who gets sanctioned. Half of them at the table at one point or the next visa to get taken away. Sonia, she needs to catch pushing from. Jagdeo, he soon in the living room and the whole 9 yards of it. Anil, oh my Lord. Kaichur News, Anil. Law book, Anil. Phone bill, Gail. Oh, Jesus, Lord. All them got the comorbidities, All them got the histories. And we remember, folks, the history of our wounds. But if we resort to what he talk about, the people living in Sugar Belt, the angry, I get so many things. You know how long we live on the PPP? In the last iteration of governance? You know what angry some people got? If people resort to that and say, it's an excuse. I had vexed with them since they chose Campton Young and put in an interim management committee in City Hall. Since then, I've vexed with them. What they can do? Don't cut where you can't fetch PPP. Don't do it. Don't do it. So we had the U.S. Secretary of State with us today. I gave him high points for what he said about Venezuela in our defense. Look, sometimes you need a couple friends in high standing. Huh? Sometimes you need a couple friends in high standing. Even if there's a quid pro quo, and I think a lot of that happened here. A lot of that happened here. Oh, you want me to XCR? We got a girl that gave me some problems. Melly, she named her. She gave me some trouble. All right, I could see what we could do with that. Yeah. Some things can get on the spot. And then, like you hear Rubio say today, I got to take that back to Washington. We got to mull over that. Some things, yes. A lot of quid pro quo here. This is how it works. This is how it works. We tell our sister, hold strong. Hold strong. So as I said, full marks. Full marks for Venezuela. A very, very strong stance on Venezuela. Definitive. Take a look.
It would be a very bad day for the Venezuelan regime if they were to attack Guyana or attack ExxonMobil or anything like. It would be a very bad day, a very bad week for them, and it would not end well for them. I'm not going to get into details of what we'll do. We're not big on those kinds of threats. I think everybody understands, and I want it to be clear. We've made this clear repeatedly. I think the U.S. Navy today is making it clear and demonstrating our ability to. We have a big Navy, and it can get almost anywhere. It can get anywhere in the world. We have commitments that exist today with Guyana. We want to build on those, expand on those, and we'll leave it for the appropriate time. But suffice it to say that if that regime were to do something such as that, it would be a very bad move. It would be a big mistake for them.
I hope you notice there is no bombast, you know. Like Jagdeo, like shoot and scoot. There's none of that. It's measured. He know they got the artillery. He know they got the pistols. He know they got the saber. There's no shoot and scoot here. Venezuelans, I hope you are listening. I hope you are. This is the Jagdeo talking now, you know. This is the people who got the cargage. Cargage my whole life. What's the cargage? No worry, darling. The people who got the cargage. It's gonna be a bad day for them. It's gonna be no big sweating, you know. Like you're fun. You know? Like Jagdeo, we gonna fight them. We gonna fight them. And Babu John, we gonna fight. It's gonna be a bad day for them. I like that. It's gonna be a bad day for them. They'll carry on. It's gonna be a bad week for them. You know? Easy peasy. Powerful statement. It's gonna be a bad day.
It would be a very bad day for the Venezuelan regime if they were to attack Guyana or attack ExxonMobil or anything like. It would be a very bad day, a very bad week for them, and it would not end well for them. I'm not going to get into details of what we'll do. We're not big on those kinds of threats. I think everybody understands, and I want it to be clear. We've made this clear repeatedly. I think the U.S. Navy today is making it clear and demonstrating our ability to. We have a big Navy, and it can get almost anywhere. It can get anywhere in the world. We have commitments that exist today with Guyana. We want to build on those, expand on those, and we'll leave it for the appropriate time. But suffice it to say that if that regime were to do something such as that, it would be a very bad move. It would be a big mistake for them.
Very bad move and a big mistake for them. They try anything. Very, very bad. It's got to go some way for some people, you know. Sometimes you got to go some way for some people. Very bad for them. Very bad. Venezuela, don't cut where you can't fetch. Don't do it. Do not cut where you can't fetch. You also spoke about the the very, very hard stance that the U.S. is taking on immigration. It's only we. Anybody could go and come as they like, treat me anyhow. O'Neillias, Marla, Dipsy, Rami, Pinky, Kevin. It's only we. People could come. Take you out your house, put you outside the inside living. It's only we. It's only us. But the people strong. People come and go here all the time. We trafficking Cubans, whoever else. You all know the allegation. See, we got to do what we got to do. Take a listen.
Mr. Secretary. Hello, Mr. President. Thank you for taking questions from us. We appreciate it. Humayra Pamuk from Reuters. Mr. Secretary, a Turkish student in Boston was detained and handcuffed on the street by plainclothes agents. A year ago, she wrote an opinion piece about the Gaza war. Could you help us understand what the specific action she took led to her visa being revoked?
Yeah,
And what was your State Department's role in that process?
We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple. I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your universities to start a riot. I'm going to your universities to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out. Well, we're going to do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't want it in our country. Go back and do it in your country. But you're not going to do it in our country.
Yeah. You know, I wonder about some of what Rubio said there. Marco Rubio, US Secretary. I wonder because a little learned he wasn't feeling well. So I wonder how much of that was that kind of responsible for it. Because when he went off to Suriname, after he left Georgetown, he wasn't feeling well. True story that, But I love that the Americans defend where they are, and they got this great sense of patriotism. Not us. No. You could be applying for land here. You got a stamp wait, and you see people come tomorrow and get to the front of the line. To be Guyanese is to be second class in your own country. In your own country. It is to be second class in your own country. You see it all the time. That is why I was telling the guys this morning on the broadcast that in Kokwani, people trying to get a piece of land, have a piece of the Guyanese dream. They said, no. We got this laid aside for a special purpose. Government want to do an initiative here. And he says the Chinese fellow come and get the whole sort of it. But 50 acres of land. People living right there the whole life. Can't touch it. So I don't blame the Americans. I blame us here. We fight each other. But when the other man come in now, go to the front, You know, if you're brown, stick around. If you're black, white, you married last night. You catch me? You catch? As a friend of mine used to say. But as I said, brothers and sisters, I wonder how much of that perhaps is a high temperature. You know, because he said he wasn't feeling too well when he went off to Suriname. It's why you all give the U.S. Secretary of State to eat while he was here. He said he wasn't feeling too well. Simone Graves said, we foreign-minded. Carlton Beckel said, same thing happening in Letem. You see that? Same thing. So as I said, it's a three-nation tour. Jamaica, Guyana, off to Suriname. And he complained a little bit in Suriname. You see, when you left the house, he said, you see, I ain't going back and eat by them. I'm not going back and eat by them.
Did you have to go on this road? Yeah. Okay, we almost all had concussions because the plane, the road was so bad. It was terrible. They paid these people to build this road, and then they bring their workers. They bring their workers. They don't hire you. They bring their workers in to do all the work. And then, or they want you to borrow a bunch of money, and then they hold it over your head. So what I want is for countries to have an alternative to that. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that. If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with the dirt road than the road we were just on. And it's not the fault of the current administration. You know, in Guyana, that was a road that was built before, but they did a terrible job. If you did that job in America, someone would sue you for a lot of money, okay? It was a bad road. So we want to be able to ensure that we are providing alternatives to what we think is bad work by the Chinese that never finishes on time, is always over budget, and brings their own workers, don't even hire the locals.
They bring Rubio down Heroes Highway. They won't show up. Rubio said, I almost had a concussion. It's down Heroes Highway. You know, it's Heroes, they won't show up the new road. You see? They clear the whole road, the whole 4 lane. Rubio said, we almost had a concussion. Almost had a concussion. Right? I can see them. No. Don't bring it down the East Bank alleyway. You see? Bring it. I was not in Chinese. Build Heroes Highway neither. It's not in Chinese. Y'all know who built Heroes Highway? Y'all know the whole thing top to bottom. Who built Heroes Highway? I know y'all know the whole thing top to bottom. Rubio said they almost bust my head there. You know those American cars is built. They haven't put Rubio no Toyota. They're going hardcore. You know? Hardcore. Rubio said we almost had a concussion on the road in Guyana.
Did you have to go on this road? Yeah. Okay, we almost all had concussions because the plane, the road was so bad. It was terrible. They paid these people to build this road, and then they bring their workers. They bring their workers. They don't hire you. They bring their workers in to do all the work. And then, or they want you to borrow a bunch of money, and then they hold it over your head. So what I want is for countries to have an alternative to that. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that. If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with the dirt road than the road we were just on. And it's not the fault of the current administration. You know, in Guyana, that was a road that was built before, but they did a terrible job. If you did that job in America, someone would sue you for a lot of money, okay? It was a bad road. So we want to be able to ensure that we are providing alternatives to what we think is bad work by the Chinese that never finishes on time, is always over budget, and brings their own workers, don't even hire the locals.
It's a bad road. You build that road up by us here. You'll be sued, man. It's a bad road. We almost all had concussions. I wonder in this space of my lifetime, over the last 4 years, at least, how many concussions I had. I come home, I argue with my wife after the show. I don't know it's a concussion. You see, us Guyanese, we don't measure these things like that. We just say neck back out and take a malt or something. Eat little papa, whatever it is. We self-diagnose one time. We don't know the road killing we hate. See, we almost had a concussion. And they took it down Heroes Highway. They want to show up. You know, you got to hold on to them. The little handlebar beside of the door. You know, held on to one, the other thing come off of me hand. The handlebar got a concussion too. I almost had a concussion down there in Gili. Next time, y'all please fly Rubio from State House. Hello, y'all got your fancy helicopters, you know. Fly Rubio from State House right to China-Guyana International. Please and thank you. I think we get enough land in State House to build a runway there. Please, bring it by boat. Or I almost had a concussion there, man. I can see Rubio tossing around the level 6. That's like just another day for us. You know? You see, that's the thing, self. We in the pot, and with the temperature turning up, and we all just there. You know? We all just there, and we talking about these bad roads, bad infrastructure all the time. But now that they embarrass me on the international stage now the whole world know, Guyana get bad road. Heroes Highway. It's the concussion road. It is no longer Heroes Highway. We can even, it's Jumbie Bird Road, aka Concussion Road. Concussion Road. See if you see her, Rubio for the other week, you know, Rubio lying low, rest and recuperation. Concussion. The man left Jamaica. Nothing but high praise. Nothing but high praise. Why we always the exception? Why we always the exception? Huh? I tell you every day the road, something wrong. These simulated waves. Rubio put in perspective. He said we would sue them people. I didn't even look in. It's Ubeli Road. Daphne Joseph Lee said Kokwani Road better. Kokwani Road better. Chel Pancham. I couldn't believe it when we heard it. It's Ubeli. Some friend, family favorites. How the Chinese getting blamed. The Chinese getting blamed wrongfully. The Chinese getting blamed wrongfully in this country. Wrongfully, Rubio. You see, that's what happened when you don't meet with the opposition Secretary of State. You don't get the full facts. You don't get the valid, credible information. Share the damn live.
Did you have to go on this road? Yeah. Okay, we almost all had concussions because the plane, the road was so bad. It was terrible. They paid these people to build this road, and then they bring their workers. They don't hire you. They bring their workers in to do all the work. And then, or they want you to borrow a bunch of money, and then they hold it over your head. So what I want is for countries to have an alternative to that. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that. If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with a dirt road than the road we were just on. And it's not the fault of the current administration. You know, in Guyana, that was a road that was built before, but they did a terrible job. If you did that job in America, someone would sue you for a lot of money. Okay? It was a bad road. So we want to be able to ensure that we are providing alternatives to what we think is bad work by the Chinese that never finishes on time, is always over budget, and brings their own workers, don't even hire the locals.
Giving us some ideas there. Sue them. You know, Junior Sammy, we want back with money. Give us back our money. You know, Irfan Ali and Jagdeo, lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Please and thank you. You know, a lot was said by the Chinese today. A lot was said by the Chinese about the Chinese today. You know, Chinese took exception. They say, y'all don't come around with funny. Took exception to some of what was said. And China had to roll out. No. Y'all don't do that to us. We're doing a lot of things in this country. You know, because there you had the Secretary of State blaming the Chinese. The Chinese said, no. The Chinese itemized. We never do the one. You go on the Chinese Embassy in Guyana website, Facebook page. You see the itemized. No. They come out one time. They come out one time. They say, we never we never do this one. We might do it over if they ask us. We might do it over, but we do this one. We did $180 million US in investments in 2020 in trade in 2013. 1 to 1.323 billion in 2023. No. We ain't the Heroes Highway. He said the new Damara Bridge, we happen to build that. That's what the Chinese put out. You almost go Chinese embassy in Guyana, their Facebook page. Yeah, and they do the graphics. So this is the graphics the graphic we borrow here. Right? They said the new China-Guyana friendship Joviera Park, others there. 6. This one they put out on their Facebook page. 6 regional hospitals expected to complete it by 2024. Right? Well, we know they're behind with that. So, like Margaret 2 off again. But I said, judge me on that. If you get concussions there, right? If you get concussions there, it's the East Coast to Demerara. East Coast. It's Alex, sir. But not as Heroes Highway. Don't judge us. The Chinese run out behind Marco Rubio today. Run out behind. He said, no. Hold on. He gave him the crack special. Hold on. Yeah, but you know, it's amazing. It's amazing how we want to abandon our Chinese brothers and sisters. You know, quick. I love the help we're getting from the Americans with our brothers to the West. But quick. We abandoning our Chinese brothers. No. I wonder if it's coincidental the same day. The same day we were talking to Chinese. We saw our sister here, Mei Ling, charged after police seized cash and firearm. You know, and some other assets. There's no coincidence in politics. No coincidence. Same day. We were talking the Chinese folks. Same day. And on the same day, folks, the serious things now. Real thing now. You know, this whole world is topsy-turvy. I heard the new Canadian Prime Minister utter a statement today. I said, what? I never thought in my lifetime I would hear Canada, the U.S. closest neighbor, trading partner. So when I listening to Rubio, and I got a split screen, you know, listening to the Canadian Prime Minister, I said the same universe we in. What's going on here? Take a listen, and you know where the world going. Take a listen to what the Prime Minister of Canada said today. You know where we're going.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power. We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away. We can deal with this crisis best by building our strength right here at home. It will take hard work. It will take steady and focused determination from governments, from businesses, from labor, from Canadians. We will need to dramatically reduce our reliance on the United States. We will need to pivot our trade relationships elsewhere. And we will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations.
I was shocked. Here, how the Prime Minister began this relationship, close, working relationship, partners, comrades in arms. He said, it's over. You don't hear that in one lifetime. It's over. Right. Something new can take place. We don't know what it is. Jagdeo here for the get comfortable. You get comfortable. You get comfortable. Let's leave it there tonight, folks. Let's leave it there. Thanks for joining us in your 100th. We had over 4,500 people on with us. We almost tipped on YouTube at 3,000 people. Y'all for real? Folks, as I saw Yumi saying there, if you haven't hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, do that. They always tell us that more people watch our YouTube channel than are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Please do that for us. Let that be how you contribute to our program. You mightn't get the funds to send in, and let me stick that in too. Help us to keep moving forward. Please and thank you. No free lunches. No free lunches. Support our program so we can keep moving forward. And if all you could do is hit that subscribe button, it'll mean a lot to us. If all you could do, brothers and sisters, is follow our Facebook page, that would go a far, far way for us. Do that for us. As we go tonight, I want to say walk good to the former Region 8 Regional Executive Officer. Fantastic woman, transition life recently. Mitzi Geno Campbell, beautiful family. Inside and out, beautiful family. And I want to say to them that our thoughts and our prayers are with them. Walk good, our sister. Walk good, our big auntie. Walk good, our mother. Please and thank you. Thanks for joining us, folks. That's going to do it for us tonight. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. And make me fight you all. Partner with us as well. Follow our pages. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's our time. That's our program.